I recently passed 4 AWS certification exams within about a 2-month time frame, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can do it too. I'm going to be talking about the study materials that I used, and more importantly, the strategy that allowed me to, in a really short period of time, pass 4 AWS certifications. What a lot of people don't realize is that the associate and entry-level AWS certifications have a lot of overlap in terms of what you're tested for on the exam. And so if you plan it out well, you can actually walk away with 2, 3, maybe even 4 AWS certifications for the effort of about 1.5. To do this, it's pretty simple. You start with the Solution Architect Associate because it covers the most broad set of services, and then you dig into the Developer and SysOps Associate immediately afterwards while all that information is still in your head. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. AWS makes public all of the information that you should study when preparing for a certification exam. So I'm looking at the Solution Architect exam guide right here. And if you look through it, let's look up a few keywords, right? I'll look up S3. That's a common AWS service. You can see this shows up a couple times, maybe IAM, right? IAM is going to show up in this matrix as well. Let's try another one, Lambda, right? And that's on the certification rubric as well. And so you can see a lot of the services that you're going to be studying for Solution Architect Associate. If I pop over to the Developer Associate and I do a search on Lambda, hey, that shows up a few times. And it may be on there a little bit more, which would say this is a topic you need to study a little bit more for this particular exam. But the point is that a lot of the topics like S3 and IAM will show up on all 3 of these associate exams because they're just important core topics to somebody who wants to be an expert at AWS. Now, because of this, because these topics show up on all 3 of the exams, this allows you to study for one, like the Solution Architect, and then roll right into the others with very little time in between. Let me walk you through how I did it. Here is the schedule that I followed. I personally spent about 1 month, really a month and a week, studying for the Solution Architect Associate. And again, that's because it covers the most ground. It's like an inch deep and a mile wide and covers a lot of services. Now, this might take you a little more than a month, depending on how long you've been in the industry, okay? For me, it took about a month, but I think if you're brand new, you might schedule this about 2 months or 3 months out from when you start. It really just depends because we all learn at our own pace. But what's great is after you finish the SA Associate, you can roll right into what I did was Developer Associate. Now, I chose that one because I wasn't planning on getting all 3, and I just thought the Developer Associate covered more interesting topics like serverless and API gateways and SAM and other interesting topics that I wanted to learn about. And I scheduled my Developer Associate exam exactly 2 weeks after my Solution Architect Associate exam. Now, when I finished the Developer, I thought, the SysOps are right there. I think I could probably set it because there's a lot of exam topic overlaps, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I just went ahead and decided to schedule the exam. And again, I gave myself 2 weeks, really this time about 2 weeks and a couple of days to study for the SysOps Administrator. Now the SysOps Administrator exam is a little different from SA and Developer in that it has hands-on labs questions. And so you will be able to use a lot of what you learned in SA Associate and Developer Associate for the SysOps Administrator, but you should also spend some time getting hands-on in the AWS console as you're preparing for that certification. I personally used Stefan Marique's Udemy courses for all of these certifications, but for the SysOps Administrator, I went ahead and bought a 1-month subscription to A Cloud Guru so that way I could take their challenge labs, and that turned out to be a really great resource for the SysOps Administrator. And then, of course, when I was done, I knew that I'd kind of overlooked the Cloud Practitioner and that it's a pretty easy exam by most standards, especially compared to the Associate. So I decided, let's go ahead and get that exam. I scheduled the Cloud Practitioner literally the Monday after I sat the SysOps Administrator, and I didn't have to study for that one at all. It's kind of just a free certification after you get these 3 and all the knowledge is in your brain. So you don't really have to do the Cloud Practitioner. If you do these 3 and you want to save the few dollars the Cloud Practitioner costs, it's not really going to help you. But for me, I just wanted to say that I had it. so I don't have to worry about it later. By the way, I've also made separate videos that dig into the exact study schedule and the resources that I use for all 3 of these certifications. I'll have those in the description and here on the video. Feel free to check them out if you want a more detailed analysis. But for now, I'll just say this. Stefan Maric, in my opinion, makes some of the best training content out there. I just personally found his teaching style to suit me very well. He also did hands-on, which helped reinforce a lot of the topics that I wasn't personally familiar with prior to taking these exams. And if you take all 3 of his courses, you'll find something very interesting. If you take a given topic, let's say S3, he's actually used the exact same training videos for S3 in his Solution Architect Associate, his Developer Associate, and his SysOps Associate training courses. I did take practice tests from other websites, and particularly there was a website called WizLabs that I bought some practice tests from as well. But I want to show you the other resource that I used for the SysOps Administrator exam was this A Cloud Guru course. And I actually, as you can see, I barely did anything with the course, but what I subscribed to A Cloud Guru for was specifically for these challenge labs. I found the content in these challenge labs to match almost exactly the questions that were on the SysOps exam. And so if you take these challenge labs and Stefan Maric's course, there's a really good chance that you'll be ready to set the SysOps exam and pass like I did. I hope this has been useful. I've made a few other videos on how I studied for these exams and laid out some recommended timelines. I also developed a study system overtaking more than 30 certification exams in my career so far, and I've shared that for free here on YouTube. You're welcome to check that out. It's just a framework that I use to go from start to finish whenever I'm trying to knock out a certification. I hope you got exactly what you were looking for in this video, and I would love to hear from you if you've decided to take AWS certifications, or even if you pass after watching one of my videos. So please subscribe and reach out to me directly. I'm very active on LinkedIn as well as the YouTube comments. I would love to have you as a subscriber to check out more similar content from me about certifications and technology in the future. So feel welcome to come along for the ride if that's interesting to you. And until next time, take it easy. Bye.